In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. He fed them with the finest wheat, and satisfied them with the honey from the rock. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. John chapter 6, verse 51 to 58. At that time Jesus said to the crowds of the Jews, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. The bread which I give you, I give for the life of the world, is my flesh. The Jews then disputed among themselves, saying, How can this man give us his flesh to eat? So Jesus said to them, Truly, truly, I say to you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. You eat my flesh and drinks my blood as eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is the food indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. You eat my flesh and drinks my blood, abides in me, and I in him, as the living Father sent me, and I live because of my Father, so he who eats me will live because of me. This is the bread which came down from heaven, not such as the fathers ate and died. Who eats this bread will live forever. The Gospel of the Lord. My dear brothers and sisters, the Corpus Christi. The Corpus Christi is this great celebration when we celebrate the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. And the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ is now what we call the Corpus Christi. Corpus, from that Latin word, which means the body. But this is the body of Christ. In the first reading, in our today's reading, we get our reading from Exodus, which is chapter 8, verse 3, verse 2 to 3, then 14 and 16. Moses narrates, in a way, what experience was for the Israelites in the 40 days. And indeed, that experience was about God testing his people. It was about God journeying with his people. It was about God nourishing his people. He humbled them and tested them with anger, and did up to that moment that these sons of Israel were really angry. But then he fed them with the bread from heaven, what we call manna. This manna could be a prefiguration of the Eucharist in the New Testament. But we must realize that this manna is not an everlasting food, but it is food that fed the Israelites when they were in the wilderness. What they did not know, it was where this food was coming from, who gave them. It was indeed God giving them, not Moses giving them. In the second reading, we hear St. Paul talking to the Corinthians, and he's talking about the cup that we bless, the bread that we bless. He's talking about that Eucharistic communion, whereby this Eucharistic communion brings about the communion of Christians. That this body and blood that we commune unites us as a community, as one body. And then in the Gospel, St. John gives in his 6th chapter an expose of the Eucharist. And if indeed one wants to know and understand the Eucharist, then the 6th chapter of John is the chapter to go by. Because in this chapter, Jesus kind of elaborates about the Eucharist. And in a special way, he wants to kind of prefigure, or rather enact what will happen at the Last Supper, giving us exactly
what will be happening at the Last Supper when he is going to give to the world the gift of the Eucharist. And so then we ask ourselves, what is this Corpus Christi all about? It's about the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's about the Eucharist. Let us remember one thing that St. Augustine said. St. Augustine said, our souls are restless until they rest in you, O Lord. Our souls anchor. They have what we call, they are thirsting. And the thirst that our souls have can only be fulfilled by God Himself. And when Augustine tries to explain this, it reminds me of a biological law about communion, whereby every living being to be sustained in life has to be in communion with another living being. And this is the concept of food, that every living being awakes every day searching for food. When the animals run in the wilderness, thirsting and hunger for food, when the plants, deepen their roots in search for food and open their leaves in search for food, when the fish and the animals that are in the waters wake every day, night and day, looking for food, and when the birds of air move every morning, every day in search for food, and indeed, when every human being searches and looks for food, they want to fulfill this law, the law of biology, whereby you cannot live without eating the food. Because a human being, to be particular, has two levels of hunger and thirst. There is the so-called the spiritual thirst and hunger, and the physical thirst and hunger. The physical thirst and hunger can only be satisfied by the physical food, but the spiritual hunger and thirst can only be satisfied by the spiritual food, can only be nourished by the Eucharist. And that's why we say, if plants were to speak, if the soil was to speak to the plants, it will tell the plants, you cannot live without eating me. If the plants were to speak to the animals, they would say the same, you cannot live without eating me. The same word Jesus says in the gospel, you cannot live without eating me, because I am the bread come from heaven down to earth. And so then we ask ourselves, what is Eucharist? And where does the Eucharist come from? We cannot think about the Eucharist without thinking about the Mass. Mass, because it is in Mass whereby now we create the Eucharist, or rather, Eucharist is named at Mass. Mass, as many other names can be mentioned, and also be called the Last Supper. Mass can also be called the breaking of bread. Mass can also be called the Eucharist. Indeed, we call Mass the sacrifice, and we can always call Mass the Lord's celebration. Because at Mass, the bread and wine are transformed by the words of thanksgiving and repeating the words of our Lord Jesus Christ of consecration. The bread and wine is transubstantiated, changed from bread and wine to body and blood of Christ. And beyond that, a miracle is it, whereby consecration, they are no longer again bread and wine, but it is indeed the body and blood of Christ. So much so that two important aspects here have to be noted. The consecration, which is the transubstantiation of the body and blood, of the bread and wine to body and blood, and then there is the aspect of communion, the eating of this food, the eating of the bread, the eating of the bread of life, the eating of the body and blood of Christ, which now, by communion, we are united with Christ, who unites us with the Father. And so now then we ask ourselves, what happens at Mass? Christ at Mass is the high priest. He is also the victim, the gift that is sacrificed. But again also is the altar in where we offer this sacrifice. And then by becoming the high priest, the priest, and the minister, acts in persona Christi, whereby now he himself narrates the words of consecration, and by that virtue, God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit descends to the gifts of bread and wine, which now are substituted to the body and blood of Christ. This indeed is the enactment of what we call the economy of salvation. At every Mass, there is the so-called incarnation, God becoming man and dwelling among us. There is the pain and suffering of our Lord Jesus Christ, the action of the cross. And then there is the ascension, the lifting of man to God, and making man now in union with the Father. And this action indeed, as Christians, we partake and participate as co-offers, because we offer our gifts, we offer our prayers, we offer our petitions to God, so that by the moment of consecration, our needs, our offering, kind of are united with the offering of bread and wine, which is the body and blood of Christ. Now, by the time of becoming the body and blood of Christ, our needs, our prayers are indeed united with Christ, and they are lifted to God. God, who accepts the sacrifice of the Son, who died on the cross for our salvation, also accepts our prayers, accepts our offering, accepts our prayers. And so, at Mass, we experience that kind of a moment. So, the Mass is an enactment of the Last Supper. It is at Last Supper when the Lord, in his own words, kind of announced the salvific death. In his own words, he took bread and wine and symbolically, using those symbols, presented them as food to be eaten by the disciples. And this was not just food, but this was bread from heaven, which now he meant this food, his personal body, and offered it to them, the Eucharistic offering. And just as food sacrifices to be eaten, to give life to that which eats, so Jesus Christ also sacrificed himself so that we may become food for eternal life. And because it's only through the spiritual hunger we get the spiritual nourishment, body and blood of Christ becomes now our spiritual meal. So that whoever eats this spiritual meal of life everlasting will never does not eat this meal. Indeed, it goes without saying, as no life everlasting. This is a gift and a miracle that the Catholic Church embraces for centuries, whereby we realize that food is with us in the Eucharist. And then we say, how do we respond to the Eucharist? We respond to the Eucharist as meal, as a food of our souls, so that we may participate in the Eucharistic celebration at Mass, and then culminate by the eating, the consuming of the Christ, the communion, whereby at communion we are in union with Christ, who now communicates us to the Father by uniting us with our God. And then the other aspect is adoration. We adore our Lord Jesus Christ. We kneel down and adore our Lord Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ is in the Eucharist as long as the bread and wine remain substance of food. So that even after Mass, the Eucharist still experiences the moment of real presence of our Lord Jesus Christ, who is really present in the body and blood in the Eucharist. So that when after Mass we cannot say that no, Jesus Christ has left the Eucharist, remains in the Eucharist. That tells you why Jesus Christ remains in our tabernacles every moment of our time in the history of salvation, in the history of the church. And so, once again, another gift of our Lord's presence, as He promised, I will be with you until the end of time. And then, lastly, we have the spiritual, communion. When we unite ourselves spiritually where we are far, we cannot receive the Eucharist. And even at this time when people are experiencing the COVID-19, when the churches are closed, we cannot receive the Eucharist. It's a moment of spiritual communion with our Lord. But we must remember that there are very important aspects that we have to remember in the Eucharist. Number one, that Jesus is alive in the Eucharist. When we go to receive the Eucharist, the priest says, the body of Christ, that body is alive. Can you imagine that when you receive the Eucharist, you are receiving the life Jesus? Once again, Christ is not alone in the Eucharist. He is with the Father and with the Son and with the Holy Spirit. That means that it's like we are receiving the Trinity in the Eucharist. That's why the Eucharist is the most and the greatest of all the sacraments, because it's the center and the climax of all the sacraments. Indeed, when we receive the Eucharist and at Mass, we are lifted into heaven. It's like saying that every moment of Mass is a visit to heaven. Why? Because just before consecration, we say, Holy, holy, holy God. The priest invites us to join with the saints in heaven and angels and singing that praise. Indeed, we are uniting ourselves in the heavenly celebration which our Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, communicates to God on behalf of us. When He said that go and sit at the right hand of Father, He's doing that every moment, every single time. So when we commune, we unite ourselves with the heavenly church, the glorified church, Jesus Christ celebrating the Eucharist, then now, yes, we are like visiting heaven every moment of our Mass. This Eucharist is a miracle, my friend. It's a mystery. To understand bread and wine transubstantiating to body and blood is a mystery. And indeed, again, we don't just receive, but we get communion. And Paul in the second reading has just told us that we just become a communion with the Father. And then every moment has a different experience, and God visits us in a different way, so that we cannot be bored and say we have always celebrated Mass. Every Mass is unique and it's also perfect, and it has its own graces. And we have no limit in receiving the sacrament. We can receive today, tomorrow, morning, evening, because it is receiving our Lord and Savior. And then all these, my dear brothers and sisters, our Mother Mary is our intercessor. She intercedes for us and, unites us with the Father. Unites us with our Son. Prays and intercedes and unites us with our Son. So we can always pray the intercession of our Mother Mary. We can always learn from her when she says, listen to the voice of the Son. And indeed, if we have to enjoy and embrace the grace of the Eucharist, we must always prepare ourselves before going for Mass, so that we may receive the Eucharist in the state of Christ. Otherwise, St. Paul will tell you that if you don't receive the Eucharist, or you receive the Eucharist in a state of sin, you are indeed calling for your condemnation. My dear brothers and sisters, as we celebrate the Corpus Christi, let us remember, number one, Christ is truly present in the Eucharist and has been all the historical moment of our time. May we call this Jesus Christ who is truly present in our midst to open up all the churches, because beyond, Christians are thirsting for the spiritual food, for the food from heaven. May God bless us, and may we always treasure the Christ who is in